One more shot of beautiful Logan Lake. We are in the back nine of round 2 of the 2024 Tournament Capital Open presented by Dynamic Discs. Matt Lisac here in the booth with Jesse Tomalty. We are here because of the patrons of Parked Pro making this happen. If you want to become one, check it out, patreon.com/parkedpro. Really goes a long way to helping us out for a price of a cup of coffee a month. You can help us out big time in PDGA of Canada. We are still at the Copper Ridge course here at Logan Lake. It is 1,100 meters up, further in elevation than the rest of Kamloops, and we're just a half hour outside of Kamloops, but it is a completely different place. Beautiful lake, beautiful spruce trees, and we've got some beautiful action coming to you. Jesse, what do you think is going to happen on this back nine?
After being 1,100 feet above Kamloops, I was deciding between it's an uphill battle or you're not out of the woods yet, because we're about to go to Mac Island for round 3.
Yeah, it doesn't get easier out here. Thomas Gilbert, 7 down on the front 9. What a round. Ryan Watson, on the other hand, went 5 over in the front 9. He is at even for the tournament now. He's fallen way off, hoping that he can rebound. And Miguel and Gryphon are chasing Thomas here, 9 down and 8 down apiece. Anybody's ball game here going into the 10th hole.
Yeah, absolutely. A couple emerging storylines would be if Thomas can keep his blistering pace going 7 down through 9 on the front. If Ryan Watson can steady the ship and turn things around, having a very turbulent front 9. And if the steady golf of Gryphon and Miguel can keep them in contention for a win going into the 3rd round.
Yeah, I'm liking what I'm seeing from both Miguel and Gryphon here. They've been making their putts. They've been composed when a couple of shots have gone awry, and that's what you need to do. If somebody like Thomas Gilbert's on a heater, all you can do is play your golf, maintain a good headspace, and keep yourself in it, because I don't think he's going to go 14 or 15 down, but you really never know. This could be an unbreakable course record coming out of Thomas Gilbert on this new layout here.
Yeah, I would believe it. Thomas and Miguel both kind of hanging onto those forehands a little too long, pushing them out that left side. There's a lot of airspace up there if you can execute that shot cleanly, but just a little overcooked from both of them here.
Yeah, and not getting any help from the roll away there was Miguel. Let's see if Gryphon can make the adjustment here. Oh, just going straight at it.
Yeah.
That was
haven't seen that
terrible
one
branch.
yet.
Yeah.
Terrible branch, but it looked like it was on a rope heading towards the cage.
Yeah. Okay, Ryan Watson finds the clean airspace out there. Beautiful.
Yeah, we saw Ryan end on a birdie on hole 9. Hopefully, signal of good things to come for him.
Yeah. And you know what? I don't think he's checking scores, but Thomas probably knows that he's got a few to play with here. Kind of a no-brainer layup from him.
Yeah, unless he's in like a complete flow state where he doesn't even know where he is, he's got to know it's very hard for anybody else in the event to be matching his pace right now.
Yeah. You know, I think if Gryphon had got himself a Parked Pro bucket hat instead of that Adidas nonsense, I think that putt would have gone in. I don't think it's
Park
scientific,
Pro
but
apparel is a guaranteed 20 points rating boost to any round you're wearing it in.
All right, well, you said it, not me. You are the scientist.
Yes, that was very scientific.
All right, well, I mean, this is a step. This is only birdie on the card here for Ryan Watson in style. Yeah. That's got to feel good. 2 straight birdies after really the most nightmarish of all starts.
Absolutely. I like how quickly he addressed that putt. He didn't let himself get in his own head about that going in. Walks up, sees chains, makes it happen.
Yeah.
Now on to hole 11. It's a 305-foot par 3 that moves slightly to the right. In the first round, we saw a lot of guys attack this with the either deep or inside forehand play. The biggest danger once you make it through the challenging gap is to make sure that you check up in time, because it does slope away quite aggressively behind the basket. You also potentially see a couple backhand turnovers high, but based on the skill set of this group today, I suspect we'll be seeing a lot of forehands.
I think so. Yeah, this is four guys that, and I don't think it's an accident too that four guys with really good forehands have found their way onto lead card here out at Logan Lake. We check back in with Carver Whitford. He's sitting at 5 down here. He's going to get a bit of a skip to the edge of the circle.
Eric showing you the outside line as well. These are kind of the two most common plays. The outside wide coming in or the inside more flexi shape.
Boom. Connell back-to-back birdies. Long putt from the gentleman. He's at 7 down, so he's definitely sneaking his way up the leaderboard. We just saw our second and third place at 9 and 8 down, respectively. So.
I'm not sure if that was an intentional layup or a little bit of a slip, but always a good sport, Johnny, keeping it positive.
I'm gonna guess that was an intentional layup, and he just couldn't believe that he would do such a thing.
that makes a lot of sense. Wow.
This unexpected.
Ryan, yeah. Unexpected, but really well thrown backhand there. That is a spectacular shot.
That is so much touchier than either of the forehand lines, and he is really a forehand dominant player.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe Ryan had a baseball career beforehand, so it really lends to that forehand and overhand skill set that he has.
That would make sense. Also, he had a bowling career. The man has had several careers. I believe he was a professional bowler for a time.
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen him bust out an underhand yet, but I wouldn't doubt it based on how many trick shots he's got in the bag.
The rare underhand doesn't come into play in disc golf all that often.
Yeah, Gryphon throwing the more typical forehand there with a great result. Miguel catching some trees, but making that upshot look very routine.
Yeah. And little known fact about Gryphon Vester, he was in fact named after the mythical animal. I believe his parents saw one the day of his birth, and he was going to be Paul, but they went with Gryphon.
Dang.
Yeah, unconfirmed fact. That it could just be hearsay.
I mean, some people that live in those Gulf Islands, I hear actually quite frequently see mythical creatures, but
that's just a dirty stereotype, Jesse.
Someone did the classic leave the lost disc on top of the basket for nobody to pick up during the round. Miguel shaking some water off of it.
Yeah, I don't think that's the play, especially not like vertical like that, because it does sort of affect the actual catching of the apparatus there. But in a casual round, solid move. I'm down with it. In a tournament round, you're right. That person is not coming back for their frisbee until the round is over. All right, hole 12. We are going a little bit downhill through a tunnel, par 3, 300 feet. Distance control is key on this one. There is a OB fence along this stretch, as well as the last hole. Shouldn't come into play, and this one's just about getting through the gap and making sure you got a good wind read outside the gap. It's one of those holes where there's wind on the tee pad, and there might be a whole other wind once you get outside that tee pad area into the clearing. So,
yeah, absolutely. Eric, putting it on a line to the basket. That is a well-thrown shot from him on that chase card. Johnny taking a more flexy shape, hoping that one comes back, and it does. Oh, big skip, though.
He would skip a little too far, get a par. I think it was pars for both of those guys. And now Ryan,
that is the most danger on the green. Those trees on the right side do produce kind of stancy putts.
Yeah, and Ryan playing that one to the safe side, but it just falls out of the sky a little bit too early for him. You can see
this hole seems to be one of the easier challenges for these players when it comes to tree obstacles, and it just comes to being calm enough to execute the shot you know you can make here.
Oh my goodness. I completely forgot that happened. It turns out the fence does come into play.
Probably able to take his putt from in the circle still, but that one managed to hop over the kind of guardian log there that would stop a lot of those type of shots from going out.
Yeah. Gryphon probably not able to capitalize on the mistake from Thomas there. Let's see if... No. It looks like a grip issue straight out of his hand.
Yeah, I kind of short-armed it a little bit, and that'll be a pretty challenging spot. Yeah, having to take it from a knee here to get around the trees. Doesn't get through clean. That'll be a tester putt for par on a hole that you're probably licking your lips for a birdie on.
Yeah. I find that wet hands affect the release on forehands for me a lot more than they affect the release on backhands. I find the disc doesn't slip out quite as easily on a backhand when things start getting wet, but on the forehand, I find it's just a nightmare. Whoa, okay. Okay.
Speaking of nightmares, Ryan Watson turning his nightmare into a dream here with a nice birdie streak and a huge putt here on 12.
Okay. I mean, he's almost got all the strokes from the first hole back now.
Cool.
We're getting there.
Miguel not making good on his par. That'll bogey and one that he'll want back for sure.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Thomas in for par. Just another day at the office for him.
Yep. In the rain. Back to the fence. And well done from Gryphon. I'm really impressed by Gryphon's putting.
Yeah, Gryphon seems to, he doesn't try anything too crazy I've seen, but the shots he takes, he executes well. He plays within his skill set and does everything so well.
Yeah, and we got to check this one out again. The big stepper. That had to be 50 feet, do you think?
Yeah, something like that. He keeps it just low enough that weak side putt catches some cage and stays in. And he gives you the little shimmy dance. Love to see it.
Yeah. All right. Well, we've got a little bit more movement here. 7-stroke lead now for Thomas over Luke Levesque from third card, making his way up 6 down through 14. He's been a force out here. We've seen him on coverage. We've seen him on the leaderboards, and he is now tied with Gryphon at 9 down. Miguel dropped down to 8 down, and he is tied with Connell on the chase card. Justin Zimmer still up there with Johnny Monk at 7 down. Still tight outside the
Very
lead.
competitive in the mid-pack, for sure. Speaking of competitive, we're here at hole 13. If you missed watching round 1 coverage, there was a beautiful highlight here. You need to go back and check out. This one is a pretty stock hyzer shot with your big misses to be potentially leaving it a little inside, meeting the hill early and leaving those trees in front of you. I'm wondering if there's maybe some wind in this round that might make this a little bit more of a touchy shot, but should be pretty stock for most of these guys. Oh. Ryan going with a flexy kind of shape. Let's hope this gets back in time.
I'm not sure that was an on-purpose flex. And I think he might have to settle for 4 birdies in a row. Let's see.
Hey, based on what we saw, that's within his putting range.
Sure. Thomas Gilbert. Can he do it again? Got to be the same disc, right?
Oh, you would think so. A lot of magic on that. And that's just that slightly inside line I was talking about, bringing those trees into play. He'll still be well within his putting range, though.
Yeah, you got to let that disc hang out flat for a while to get down there. It's only the last 40 feet or something like that where it starts curving in on you. So easy mistake to make and exaggerated version of it by Gryphon there.
Yeah, he catches a little bit of the local flora on the right side that slows him down and doesn't get him all the way there. This looks high from Miguel. We'll see what this does. Yeah, those early trees again.
I like the idea of avoiding the trees. You just had to hang it out a little straighter and longer, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. It's still within their putting range. We haven't seen too big a highlight from Miguel, but his putting is definitely something to behold when it's on.
Yeah. Cameraman Sean with the nice mustache peeking in the background. Ryan out in the field by himself.
Oh my God.
You called it, Jesse.
Lightning does strike the same place twice, apparently.
Run it down. Are you kidding me, Ryan Watson?
This is the most mountain disc golf run it in as well, having to run around the fallen tree, through the bushes, past the bag. And wow, what a putt from Ryan Watson.
He's a 40-plus player. You can't be running too many of those down and around. It's bad for your health, I think.
Yeah, that's right. He's got the high tops on, protecting those ankles.
Wow. Another highlight here on 13. Not quite the same distance of throwing, but serious throwing there. Miguel touches some chains on the way by.
Yeah, good effort from Miguel, not quite making that putt. I'm still in awe of Ryan's putt here, especially now looking behind Thomas after he makes good on his birdie. Those are shrubs. That's not just tall grass. Making a comfortable putting stance in that kind of terrain is really difficult, even if it's just a mental thing.
Ooh.
And Miguel splashing out on the pro side.
Wet chains, maybe a little bit.
Yeah, it's a little right, but you got to think that one might stick, for the average putt.
Yeah. We got to put out the River City Cup from Edmonton a few weeks ago, and Greg Gatsky, local legend, putting with the soft gum putts. You don't see it all that often. What do you think of maybe putting with a softer putter to grab the chains? Is that really a thing?
I think in a sense it's a thing, but if it compromises your grip in any capacity, then the help you're getting is so marginal that I think it's more of a detriment to being an uncomfortable putter that catches chains well.
Yeah, I found, when I started disc golfing, I liked a soft putter. I was really drawn to, the super soft. I think I was throwing Swan 2s. The real soft putters just felt right. And then the more you play, the more I think a grippy but harder putter feels better. And I don't really know why.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh boy.
Hole 14. 467 feet. Unreal drive there.
Yes. Matt the Statman, do you have stats on this one? Because I would be hard-pressed to believe this wasn't playing as one of the hardest holes on the course. It's such a specific angle you have to take. Unless you've got decent wind and a 700-foot arm, Thomas doesn't quite make it all the way back in with the big hyzer play. We didn't see anybody play the hyzer in round one. There wasn't the greatest wind for it, and I'm wondering if Thomas has left himself a lot of work to get back up through those trees.
I don't think it's going to be easy from there, and yeah, there was, I believe this was the second hardest hole. Miguel gets through the gap really nicely. Second hardest hole yesterday, and today it is playing as the fourth hardest hole, so it's still one of the 4 holes that's over par, but it is behind hole 1 and 2, and the next hole, hole 15, is the 4th hardest hole. So more double bogeys than birdies. Tells you kind of all you need to know on this one.
Well, Thomas has a way better look at it than we thought, giving it a good run there, just not quite keeping it in the air long enough. Ryan Watson is going to be taking strokes, and I eat my words again. I am so full of my words. These guys have been just serving me up a buffet of my own words. What a great putt from Gryphon for birdie there.
Gryphon got away with one. Gryphon knows he got away with one. I love the cheeky look back and smile after that putt, but Ryan Watson's close enough for the turbo finish. I think that's 5 birdies in a row now. So he is back to, I think, 1 over for the round. Just an incredible mental fortitude to take it back after what we saw in the front 9 there. Oh!
I love it.
Gryphon's
I think that might have to be made into one of the new Park Pro Discord emotes.
For sure.
In my life.
Yeah. Sign up. Check us out. Look us up. We'll get you on the Discord. It's a fun time. We're chatting all things Canadian disc golf and all things, parts Telecaster, guitar. You never know what you're going to see on the Park Pro Discord. Join up. It's fun. It's free. Yeah. And you can find out what's going on with us in between tournaments. It's a good time. Hole 15, the Beast, par 5, 830 feet. This one is long. This one is challenging and getting distance off the tee. It's one of the few holes where just having a monster drive off the tee makes a big difference for you. This played as the hardest hole yesterday. This played as the second hardest hole today. Great addition to the course here.
Yeah, hard to see in the drone flyover is these OB stakes. That right side has a bunch of OB on it. And surrounding the green, as you can see from these survey flags, is actually all a hazard area as well. Very, very demanding approach. You want to make sure you've got it inside your comfort zone, just like Nick's third one here. And make sure you stick it real close.
Yeah. Justin ran into some issues. That was his 5th shot on the approach here on 15. And that was Sam Sullivan's putt for par from the hazard. He played the hole well up until the approach there. Tough putt for him, but great putt for Luke Levesque, who has another birdie. Look at all that green on his scorecard, Jesse.
Absolutely. Moving to 7 down for the round is really impressive.
The kid's in the hunt. I think he's still 16 years old, Luke Levesque. And we saw
I have
him competitive
never
last
played
year.
on a card with him, but he is one of those young guns that throws a country mile. I was the group playing the hole behind him at BC Open last year, and he was taking big distance off the par fives.
Yeah. Nice bogey save for Eric. This is our chase card coming through now. Some guys with still great chance to get onto lead card going into the final round here. Johnny Monk's on a streak of pars here, but that's not too bad on these tough holes. And Carver having a bit of a tricky one today, a little up and down for him.
See if Ryan can continue his double turkey birdie streak. And with a shot like that, he just might be able to. That is taking off enough and getting you in a good position away from the OB to navigate that technical second shot.
Yeah.
Gryphon looking for a similar result with the backhand, and it looks like he finds it gets past all those trees. He should have a good open swing.
Not going for the big sky Annie this time.
No,
I think the wind
Thomas
was
in
maybe
round one got really aggressive there.
Yeah. I think it might have been a different wind out there today. Or maybe he's
Miguel's
just
pulled this one a bit.
trying to be sensible, one of the two.
And that's inbounds, but that'll create some pretty difficult shots. Yeah, he'll have to pitch back towards the fairway. Try and get in position to come into the green. And that's looking like a par at best kind of scenario from where he's landed. Unless he's got a lot of guts to come into that hazard green.
I think he's got all the guts in the world, but he also has a brain on top of that neck. And you don't see Miguel making the dumb hero play all that often.
No, that's true. He's got a great golf brain.
Yeah. Oof.
Thomas maybe a little pinched off. We'll see if he can swing one into the green from there.
Yeah. Huge drive from Ryan, and similar shot here on a second. He's going to bite off a lot of distance. That is position A on your second shot.
Absolutely. I don't think I could drop it anywhere better from my bag, let alone throw it there.
Yeah.
Miguel finding another difficult bunker. We'll see what he does from there. That is, even the guys with the best golf brains, when you start putting yourself closer to forcing a par out of position, forcing a bogey out of position, becomes more and more tempting.
What?
To do something spicy.
Yeah. That was insane from Thomas.
Is that Thomas's second?
I think it was his third. This is why you don't do that, what Thomas just did. He was going from so far away that could have skipped, that could have rolled, that could have bounced. He sticks it and takes all the luck from the island there, leaving none for the rest of the card. And Ryan gets it just over the hazard.
Yeah, he'll have a long look for birdie there. Miguel chipping in perfectly.
All right, after the hazard stroke, you want to get your putt on the comeback.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
That's an insane birdie from Thomas.
Yeah, that is a well-played hole of disc golf. And now we'll see if Ryan can make good on his birdie putt here.
Yeah, he left his approach, did a little hammer, as we were discussing last round, did a little hammer, came up a little bit short. He's still going to be full run in this thing, though. High and in. 7 straight birdies to go one
back
down.
To under par for the round after starting quad bogey, bogey, bogey.
Big smile for the camera. Well earned.
I think this is undoubtedly the greatest mid-round comeback we've seen on any of the Canadian Disc Golf Tour coverage.
Yeah, no question. He's one back of Miguel.
Yeah.
He wasn't anywhere close to the other people on this card earlier.
Just spectacular play.
Yeah. All right, Sam Sullivan stems the bleeding a little bit. He gets a birdie. Nick Culver gets one too, and Luke Levesque gets a bogey after having such a hot one. He's still positioned in the top 4, but you don't want to be giving one back on 16.
Yeah, Nick and Luke doing a great job of having a fantastic comeback round. Nick did not have the round he wanted in round 1, and he's back with a vengeance.
Yeah, and spoiler alert on that one, he's going to make that birdie to go to 9 down. This hole 17 is such a beautiful shot. And Sam with that shot also gets a birdie. He goes to 5 down on the day. Let's see if Justin's disc can come down just on time again like it did in the first round. And it does, but he misses the putt. He'll get a par, and then Luke steps up. Bad kick off the tree, but he made that birdie to come back. He is at 10 down now, so he is firmly in second place here, 2 up on Nick, who is also on third card there, with Gryphon on our lead card and Miguel. Strokes flying everywhere.
A bit of a shuffle up here on our leaderboard, but mostly familiar faces from this round in general. As well, I believe this tournament ended up with 21 people in the field, so you're seeing probably a 8 or 9 position cash line. These guys in the mid-pack could be fighting for their life at cash and also fighting for the third podium position, all at the same time with how tight and competitive this group is.
100%. Hole 16 is a par 4. It is 515 feet, so I would dare say gettable for Thomas Gilbert. Maybe not anybody else on the card, but you're really trying to get to this landing zone. An ideal drive will get you like a 70-foot upshot, 80-foot upshot kind of thing. A big drive for most of this lead card here. But more importantly is avoiding any of these trees on the way. So pick your most comfortable shot and just blast it, and then close your eyes and cross your fingers and listen to the crowd.
Seeing the rain looks like it's picking up a little bit here. Ryan's stepping off the tee. I'm wondering if the tee boxes are getting a little bit slippery.
They most certainly are.
That comes in now.
It stays in the
Duck
tree.
Halfway up the tree.
Yeah.
Thomas lining up the backhand means he could be going fairly big here. I don't see it often in Thomas's second rounds, but he does like to throw some big shots for the fans when he has a lead in round 3.
He sure
this
does.
One's going way out to the left.
I would call that huge.
An unobstructed luck.
Yeah.
He's all the distance the pin requires, and he's got 120 to come back at the basket.
Yeah, that's certainly one way to play this hole if you're Thomas Gilbert. Most of us, it's not really an option, so we're going to see a little bit more of what Miguel is doing here.
Yeah, hoping Miguel has an unobstructed look, but he might be in those saplings, and those are some of the most difficult bunkers you'll see out here at Copper Ridge.
I think you are correct, Mr. Tomalty. A little bit safer spot for Gryphon there. He's going to be not too far from where Ryan ended up in that tree. It took us a while to figure out where Ryan's disc was. Nobody was expecting it to be there. And it was kind of the landing zone was a bit obscured from the tee pad. So we were kind of lucky to find that one in the 3 minutes.
See if Ryan can bring this down in the right spot here. Yeah, he finds the circle. Not perfect, but a pretty great effort considering how tight that tree was to his forehand throwing hand.
Yeah.
And Miguel did end up with a look out of those trees.
Beautifully done. Yeah, that's got to settle Gryphon. Even though it's wet, some of that ground, wow, and he just narrowly avoids the OB there. This ground is still kind of dry and hard packed even when it's raining, so it does add another layer of spice to some of these approach shots.
Absolutely. I didn't see the OB stakes and thought that it was just roll away down the hill nightmare here. Honestly, a mercy OB line, if anything.
Yeah, it's a different kind of nightmare, like a Nightmare on Elm Street remake that never got greenlit. Yeah, and
Gryphon having his own small putting nightmare back and forth. And another birdie for Ryan. The man's on fire. The rain can't even put him out. The man is on fire.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That one sticks. A little bit low and left.
Yeah, the old birdogey for Gryphon, unfortunately. But you make big comebackers when you're a committed putter. And when you're a committed putter, your putts go in. Mm-hmm. It's just a hazard of the job.
Yeah. Leaves the umbrella on. Always a risky move, but he pulls it off because he's a pro. Another birdie for Thomas Gilbert, who has stretched his lead out over his card mates to 11, but it is now people like Luke Levesque that are really chasing him down. Third card here, Sam Sullivan to finish with a big birdie. Doesn't quite nail it.
Good effort from way downtown.
Same chance, chains out for birdie. And Justin Zimmer finishes on a birdie.
Yeah, I wonder how Justin played this hole today. Round 1, he had one of the longest tee shots, I think, that have ever been played on that hole, and was accessing it from a new spot altogether.
Guaranteed. And look at that finish from Luke Levesque. 11 down on the tournament.
Yeah, finding second from the third card is no easy feat. That's very impressive. Speaking of very impressive, hole 17 is a 285-foot par 3 with a small square hazard that you're seeing here of the downed logs, and an OB line deep as well. The impressive part of this one is getting your speed control and soft landing down, as there is danger every which way. Ryan going for that soft backhand by the looks of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's going to hold its line the entire way.
Yeah, beautiful, gentle turn. I love watching the backhand turnover. It might be my favorite shot to watch.
I'm with you on that one. And it's also the most rewarding when you throw one correctly.
Yeah, I think this disc from Thomas is a little more stable. Yeah, we'll see it finish out at the end.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, yeah. He checks up in time, but that one was flirting with the OB out the back.
I think he might be a praxis thrower. Not 100% sure.
Ooh,
oh no.
Boy. As far as I know, that's still safe.
Yes.
So somehow that shank produces a much less problematic miss for him. And
yeah.
Gryphon going around the outside as well. That's going to produce him a putt.
Terrible reaction off the tree for Miguel. Better reaction for Gryphon, but they're both hard pressed. Griffin's got an angle, but he's got some distance here.
Yeah, leaving it high, still committing, better than low. Tough putt.
And you think Thomas wants more birdies?
I think Thomas wants all the birdies. Yeah, unfortunate to not get that one, but he is free and clear of the tournament, and really it's an exercise in not making mistakes for Thomas, even with a full round to play.
Yeah, he's still fully foot on throat mode.
Yeah.
I mean, he's still got a whole round left, so you never want to give anybody some daylight, but a lot of people might have laid that one up.
Yeah, putting back at the hazard like that with that much pace uphill could have produced a bigger number than he was looking for, but Ryan Watson scoring the lone birdie here. Is Ryan going to go 10 holes of birdies straight to finish his round?
He's done 9. Why not? At this point, why not? All right.
Hole 18 is a very challenging hole. We're seeing Johnny Monk get his birdie.
Yeah.
Yep.
9 down, 6 down on the round, clean, no bogeys, string of pars there, but that's how you got to play it. And Connell, also 9 down. So with the whole rest of our lead card at 8 down, with 1 to play, we've already got a couple of guys in at 9. I think Luke is in at 11. Can any of the other 3 players... Well, I didn't even know if they can with a birdie, because they probably won't have hotter rounds than these guys that made their way up from the second and third cards.
Yeah, I just love how this is shaping up to be anybody's game, at least in the mid-pack.
Yeah. Hole 18 it is now owned by Justin Zimmer after his drive on the first round. Very delicate, very treacherous technical drive here to get to. About where that bag is sitting there, that's kind of a good landing zone because you sort of have to take what you can get on this approach shot down the hill. The way the drone is flying is the biggest of these gaps. It's not the only gap, but it's the biggest one. It means you can throw a putter or something like an approach disc forehand down. Otherwise, you're having to get creative, you're having to get a little lucky, and you're having to miss a lot of branches and leaves and needles to get down to this gorgeous finishing green.
This is a touchy, technical one. I really love these for lack of better terminology, choose your own adventure second shots, where your landing zone dictates a series of fair gaps, but challenging ones all the same. Ryan not too happy to have caught some of those ranches on the left. That was definitely a misrelease from him. I don't think he was ever planning to be that wide.
For sure. Thomas hates it because it's too high, but he somehow finds his way down to that lip with all those fallen logs. He got a little bit lucky. He's 11 down on the round, so hard to attribute anything to luck when you're having such a killer round, but he might have got away with one. And that, if you could draw up a perfect drive, Jesse.
That's within a disc width of where I'd place it. Yeah, that was a spectacular shot from Miguel. He's going to have a pretty clean look through the the final gap and have his pick of the 2 widest ones as well.
And that almost skipped down straight towards the basket. Still an awesome drive by Gryphon, but holy smokes.
Wow, Ryan Watson. Yeah. He's fired up about it. He's made it to the top of the hill. And even I'm not sure how deep Ryan likes to putt from, but that is in a lot of long putters jump putt range now.
I don't know, man. When you've gone 9 in a row, wow. That could have been probably the only eagle this hole will ever see right there. When you've gone 9 in a row, you gotta run it for 10 in a row, don't you?
Oh, of course. Yeah, we talked about a little bit of the disc that Ryan bags earlier. That flippy arrow making a great long spin running disc for him. I'd love to see him give it a chance there.
Yeah. Nice up and down after the bad bounce for Gryphon on a second. And this is what Ryan's left with here.
And that's the arrow in question. Oh, no, I told you about these 100-foot turbo putts.
Yeah. Can he Johnny McCrade in there? Almost.
Yeah. That's honestly still a very good effort from that stance.
Yeah. And then we will both try and extricate ourselves without breaking anything.
Miguel just low. You can see that one was one that he wanted to put in for sure.
Yeah. And this time, for birdie, maybe a course record, Thomas decides best to take the umbrella off. 12 down on the round. Insane stuff from the man from Toronto.
2/3 of the holes out there and clean and bogey free on what is a very tight technical and treacherous course.
In the rain and wind.
Yeah. Holy smokes.
Incredible stuff. That's why he's one of the best players to ever come out of this country. And you know what? That was one of the most inspiring things I've seen, I think, on the disc golf course. Ryan Watson getting 9 straight birdies after being 6 over through the first 3 holes.
Yeah, what a frustrating start he had, and the ability to just turn it back on and finish out like that is very, very impressive.
Yeah, he gave a big thanks to his card mates too, because it's tough when you have a nightmare few holes and the card is sitting there watching it. You feel like you got to apologize, especially if you're getting a little frustrated. And ended well.
Here's our leaderboard. Thomas, 9 strokes clear of the field, with Luke 2 up from the now more packed race for the podium. 9 down for Connell and Johnny, with a big group of 8 down. Nick, Ryan, Gryphon, and Miguel hot on their heels. It's anybody's game for the podium going into Mac Island.
And we've seen Thomas Gilbert and 3 other players for all 3 rounds now. We have had the Thomas show, and we've had 3 new contestants. Every single round, we're going to get 3 new ones for this final 9. Who's going to chase them down? Who's going to lock up the podium? There's only one way to find out.
Keep it locked to Park Pro.
Heck yeah.